Okay. So the error message just gives you that you're supposed to correct. You have made an error, so you're supposed to correct that error. Otherwise, you won't proceed without correcting the error. That's the error message. And don't be rude when you're putting the error message. Just put it politely. Okay? Because you are doing it for the client. Okay. So this is how you do the data validation. Eh? Data validation makes your work look like a professional. It looks neat. It looks like you know what you're doing. Okay. So now we want to do another way we can do the data validation. That is now coming up with the list. Okay. You can also list the items. So as you select those items, the figures corresponds also pops up. So we can only do that by using data validation and either Vlookup, Hlookup, and combine. Now this table, as you see it, this is a vertical table. So under vertical table, you can only use the Vlookup, not Hlookup. Okay. Okay, this is a vertical table. It has got a lot of rows and only 2 columns. Okay. Any question before we proceed? Maybe there's someone who has missed something. Any question? Any question? Coach Betsheba, you have been quiet. Welcome back.
Thank you, Coach.
You are all coaches. No one is not a coach here. Coach Mtale, how are you? Any question?
No question, Coach.
You're okay? Okay, so you can proceed.
Yes.
So now, here we are using this table to demonstrate these tools. That doesn't mean that you can find a question like this in an exam. This is too simple. So we are simplifying this thing so that as we expand the data, you won't get lost because we're using simple data. Only 3 items we're using here. Yeah. So don't mistake that question ikala isafi ututu tutatu so. Awe. Ifila baifingi sana. Remember is bad, but I'm incompetent. Okay. So now you want to create a list. The first thing you do is come where you want to bring that list. Okay. For example, I'm going in H3. Okay, so we want to create a list of the employees. Okay, so what you do is you go where you want to bring the list. It can be the whole table. You want the list to be in the column of H, maybe there are 10. So you want to create a list in that column. So you just highlight the whole column. But in this case, let's choose just one cell. Okay, cell H3. Let's go in H3 and then go on data validation. Okay, today we're going to exhaust the data validation. All right. So here we go, it automatically takes you to settings. Settings, then you go on list. You go on list. Okay, then source. Source, you want the list of what? The employee names. Okay, these names of people here. Okay. Have you done up to there? Then you go.
No.
Not yet.
Start again.
Okay, thank you very much. So what we'll do is you go in H3. That's where we want to bring our list, okay? The list of employees. So you go, after you go there, you go on data, then data validation here. Data validation. Please, you can mute your mic. If you're doing something in the background, you can mute your mic. So you go on list, okay? You go on list. Go and click on list. List, okay? So we are validating on setting. If you're on setting, you are validating, eh? So here you want to validate the list, okay? You want to validate the list. So the list here, we need to look for the source. Where is the source? There's too much noise. Where is the source? The source is the list of names of people. You can't have the list of numbers, right? So the list of names of people. In this case, the list of the names of people are in this column, okay? You just highlight them like that. Yeah, let me mute this man. Okay. So the list.
So you're highlighting the.
We are highlighting the names of the employees.
From the employee name.
No, just from the names, just the names. Okay, then we can go on. Okay, if you're done. Okay, then the arrow will pop up on your right. Just go on the arrow and you have a list of names to choose from. Okay, have the list of the names to choose from. Okay, so you can choose the list. You can choose from anyone here. Okay. Are you able to do that? Are you able to choose from the list?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when it comes to data validation, there are two methods, okay? I mean the Vlookup. If you want to do Vlookup, it's either you can define name, the table, or you can just go and highlight the entire table, okay? During the formula, but I would prefer you define the name of the table. I would prefer. But I would teach you two methods, okay? Okay, the first method is you come and highlight the entire table and define it, okay? And define it. So defining name, I think this time you don't have any problem with defining name. So you come here and define the entire table, okay? What will be the name of this table? Let's just name it payroll. Okay, payroll. Should be double L, yeah? Okay, so the table is defined. On top of your A there, on top in the box there, there's the word payroll, meaning your table has been defined, okay? So you can't use Vlookup if there's no table where the information is coming from, okay?
So what did you put on the name?
Payroll. Okay. So for the data to look like we know what we are doing, you can put an employee number there, an employee name, I mean, and also a basic salary there. Okay, the shortcut for copying and paste is just Control-C. For pasting is Control-V. Okay, so you have something like that. Okay. Okay, now we want, when we select the name here, the moment we select the name here, if you select Serambewe, for example, the basic salary is supposed to come here. Their basic salary should come here. If we select, imagine if we had 10,000 of them, if we just go and select one name there, the base salary automatically is supposed to come here. So you don't have to start looking how much is the so got, or how much is what. So what we need to do is to use the Vlookup here, because the table is in vertical orientation. Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll type equal sign. Okay. Equal sign. Then we type VL. Okay, have you typed? Have you typed? Have we typed?
I'm Kim Robson. This is Top of the Pops from the BBC.
We have. Okay, if we have, then you go on tab. Tab. Tab is just before Q. Tab. Okay, if you look down here, there where we've typed equals VLOOKUP, down there's a guide for the formula. Okay, there's a guide. So inside there, there's a lookup value. You've seen where it's written, where it's in black in bold, lookup value. What is your lookup value? Okay, the lookup value is what do you want to look for? Okay, you want to look for this Serambewe here. So you come and click here like that. That's your lookup value. Then you put a comma. Okay. What is your table array? The next in bold is what? Table array, right? After you put a comma, it automatically makes table array bold down there on the formula. That's your guide. Whenever you're typing a formula, there's a guide in Excel. Just check that guide. That's why these things are not very hard, because there's a guide, a leakage in the exam. Imagine. So table array. What is your table array? Your table array is the name of the table, the way you named your table. But if you haven't named your table, you can just come and highlight the entire table like this. You have seen it? But because I named the table, you have seen what has happened in my formula. It has written payroll, right? Hello? Hey. Are we together?
Yes.
We are here, Coach.
So if you didn't want to highlight the table, would have just written the word pay. Okay, so you can just write payroll.
So I'm lost.
Okay, where are you? Have you typed the VLOOKUP?
I don't know. Things are keep on popping now on the laptop.
What is popping up?
So I put.
Okay, have
So
you
I'm
typed?
not able to make any changes because it's like my Excel is frozen now.
It's frozen. Oh, sorry.
It's saying you've entered too few arguments for this function.
For argument, you have just started. Did you do enter?
No.
Then what happened? What did you do?
Okay, I've selected Sarah and Bewe. Then on basic pay, I put the equal sign.
First, you start with equal sign. You go on basic pay. Under there here, type equal sign VL. Equal sign,
Yes.
then VL. You have done that, huh? Then you tab.
Yes.
Tab is just before Q. We have tabbed, right?
Yes, then after that.
After that, then you click where there's Sarah. I don't know the name that is there, but me, I have Sarah. You click there, then you put a comma. Before you click anywhere else, after you've clicked there, put a comma.
Sorry, I lost you there.
You click on the Sarah, the employee name. After you've clicked there, if you have Sarah Mbewe, you can click on Sarah Mbewe. Then you put a comma. You have done that, right? then a comma, then you can just type
Yes.
the name of your table was payroll, right? Payroll will come in blue, just under your formula. Just check where your formula is, and you are going to have payroll there as a name. Then just tab. And the moment you tab, then put a comma. Okay. Now, when you put a comma, it has written that column index. The column index is where is which column are your figures that you are looking for? In this case, you are looking for their basic salaries, right? So the column index is in the second column. Remember, I told you that Vlookup uses columns, not rows. But for Hlookup uses rows. In that case, if it was Hlookup, it was going to ask you to do row index. But in this case, is column index. Okay. So column index will be 2, the second column. Okay. Then comma 0. Okay. Comma 0 meaning you need to get an exact match that you are looking for. We don't want it to pick basic salary. You want it to pick exactly number for Serambio or for any employee name. If you are done, you can close the bracket. Shift, then close bracket. Okay, then enter. Okay. So when you choose the name of the person here, it will be changing like that. Choose the name of a person to be changing like that. It won't make a mistake to choose any other person's basic pay. Okay.
Sorry, sir, to take you back.
Yes, madam.
So when I did the VLOOKUp before the one coming up,
Before.
instead of that H, yeah.
No, you're supposed to go in H4, not before. H4.
H4.
So now,
if you
after
want
VLOOKUp,
yes, madam.
After VLOOKUp, so
not
I did
H4, in
the
fact, H3. This is at H3.
sign.
This is H3. We're in H3, yes, H3. Not before, but H3 is supposed to. So your VLOOKUP formula is supposed to read like this: equals VLOOKUP H3. This is where employee name is. Then comma payroll. This is the table. Comma the index is 2, second index. Then comma 0, the exact figure. Yes, madam. You can ask now. So you can edit
after the payroll. Do I enter?
After payroll, you put a comma, 2, 0. Comma 2, 0. Because of the column that we want to use is in column 2. Then 0 is just an exact number. If you don't put a 0 there, it can pick anything.
Then I close bracket.
Yes, close bracket, then enter.
Okay, I managed. Okay.
So if you pick any name that you want to pick, you just go on the arrow, choose it to be selecting. If it picks something else, just know that you have made the mistake. Okay. So this is how VLOOKUP and data validation can be linked. Okay, but there are sometimes when you make an error on the name here. Okay. What if you make an error on the name? And you know you are dealing maybe with about 100, 300, 400 people. or transactions. Okay, how should you know that you have made a mistake? Should you start now going transaction by transaction and start changing? Okay, the essence of using Excel is if you notice one error somewhere, the formula is supposed to show you or supposed to tell you that there's an error here. That's the reason why we're doing modeling, right? So now, if for example, I delete Serambewe here like this, what you have seen what it has given me. What has it has given me? Just go here, remove Serambewe, and what will come? Of course, there will be hashtag NA, right? I've removed the Serambewe here. Okay, for example, there was Serambewe here. Okay, I come, I just backspace, but just backspace, go on the name, this, then backspace. Ah, na any time we would be able to cover why? Time we able to cover sana. Okay, is the error comes hashtag NAI. You have seen it?
Yes.
You know,
yes.
you know, basics are very important. This might look very simple, but basics are very, very, very important. That's why I take a lot of time on basics. I don't want to rush you to do complicated stuff before you know basics. So please let us participate. If you are behind, just tell me, I go back. The same things we'll be doing as we do complicated issues. So are we okay if you manage to remove the name Serambewe there?
Yes.
Okay. Now we don't want this error here. If you don't have a name here, it's supposed to show us that there's an error there. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to edit our formula. So first click on the hashtag NA there. Click on it. If you clicked, then go on the formula and then copy the entire formula, but don't delete, just copy. Copy, Control C, copy, then go between a equal sign and V and type if you tab. Are we together?
Yes.
Okay, so you type if, then you type is NA. Okay, is NA. So if the error is NA, okay, if the error is NA, that's what we want to say. If the error is NA, so you tab here. Okay. Then you come at the end of this formula, there's a closing bracket after 0 there, there's a closing bracket. Put another closing bracket. Okay. Then you put a comma. Okay. Put a comma. Put a comma. Then inverted commas. Open inverted commas. And then type select the correct name. Or we can just say select the name or correct name. Correct name. Can put correct name. Correct name. Okay, so you close inverted commas, and then you put a comma. Okay, if you put a comma after a closing inverted comma, select the correct name. Then close inverted commas. Whenever using words in a formula, put them in an inverted comma. Okay. If you want, you're using a sentence or a word which is not a number, put them in inverted commas. Otherwise, you find an error. If you put a comma, hello.
Yes.
Okay. Then what we do is Control V. We paste the formula that we had copied like that. Okay. Control V. And then we close the brackets until the last one is black. So just one bracket will be black. But there are cases where you have a lot of them, but until the last one is black, that's when you stop putting the brackets. Then you can enter. You have seen, because there's no name here, Excel will tell you that select the correct name. Okay. If you want me to select the name, the figure will come and that way will go. If you remove or you make a mistake, you haven't selected the name, there's no name, it will tell you select the correct name. Or if you type something that is not on the table, it will tell you to select the correct name. So if you are going through and you find this, select the correct name, you just go and select the correct name. Eh? So any question, ladies and gentlemen? So we move to Hlookup. So Vlookup and Hlookup are sisters or are brothers. So they just work the same. The only difference is what? The orientation of the table. But everything is just the same. Any question? Any question? Kuribe? Hello? Oh my God. Quietness here, so are you locked out?
No questions, coach. Mukango believe.
Oh, I expected questions.
Vangen.
Coach,
Yes, sir.
This the if is it the same as the nested if?
No, this is not the nested if. The nested if, you are going to have if and or. We have got and
If.
or, then that is nested. Meaning you have got two or more arguments in the if statement. This one is just, you're just saying if there's an error, I want you to do this.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So now let's do, we only have 2 minutes. So let's change the orientation of this table to a horizontal one, okay? So now we are going to have a lot of columns and less rows, okay? So you're going to have employee name, copy, we bring it here. Okay, employee name, then basic salary will be under employee name. And then we're going to have names here. Okay. The names will be here like that. Then we'll have the next one next to each other. Okay. And then you copy, paste. Okay. Okay, so for Sarah 9,000. Okay, for Mavis 5,300. Okay, then 4,800. Okay, so this is how your table for Hlookup looks like. If your table is like this, you need to use what? Hlookup. Okay. You need to use Hlookup. Okay, so you want to have some borders as well. Or borders, okay. So your table will look like this. Okay. So we have 1 minute, you need to log in again, and again. So what you do, Hlookup. So we have the same information here, we copy it, and we